Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Scott McKenzie and I am the founder of Golden Age Companions and also home care agency Blueprint. Today I wanted to speak to you guys about what it really looks like to start a home care business from personal experience, and I'm getting a lot of questions and feedback from people that are afraid to start their own business, or they're not sure if they're ready to do it. They don't want to jump in yet. Maybe they're an RN or they work in the healthcare field, or they're just scared to jump in this business. And I want to share my story today on how I really got started, and I think it's like super important to do that because I want to, if nothing else, give some inspiration on kind of like I did it and you can too. So some of you already know my story. I literally, I took care of my grandmother in junior high and high school, and I worked at Starbucks during that time, and we had hired a home care business to take care of her for 2 years. And during that time, we had some pretty good caregivers, but we also had some that were not that great. Would show up late, or maybe couldn't communicate well with my grandma. And really the short of it is I learned a lot during those 2 years on not just sourcing the care for my grandmother, but also managing that process. And so I look back on that after she essentially went to a nursing home, and they really over medicated her, and she ended up passing away in just like 3 weeks, and she was 90 years old. And so this was in 2010, and just about 6 months later, it just hit me on the nose. I've got to start my own home care business. I want to give back to the world in a great way, and just have a quality agency that can provide care that my grandmother really didn't have. So that's why I started Golden Age Companions, and I literally started from nothing. I mean, I was on a Starbucks salary, essentially, Starbucks hourly wage, $8 an hour, and I was committed to doing this. And so, I decided I want to do this, and I ended up basically finding some documents and a couple that basically trained me on, pretty much how to start this business private, instead of doing a franchise route. But they had given me just like a whole booklet of documents and how to do an assessment, how to hire caregivers, but there really wasn't a cohesive system on how to run the business. And there also wasn't like a forewarning of like, look, these are the different things that you will, might run into, or situations. And it honestly just felt like super overwhelming. And being 21 years old at the time, I was essentially just like a kid. So, I started the business, and it was really the first like couple years. I mean, I had gone to Pepperdine Business School at the same time. I actually finally quit Starbucks when I like a couple months into starting Golden Age Companions, and I was also doing school at nighttime, and also just kind of like working on Golden Age Companions, going out there, going to facilities, seeing what referral sources I can build. And just over time, talking to more and more people, I started to get the first client, the second, the third, the fourth. And then it really seemed like from like the sixth client to the 15th was almost like the easiest. It seemed like things just started cracking out of like all of a sudden we got 2 or 3 referrals in 1 week. We onboarded them. So I just learned from the get-go exactly how to do this, and I did it all from experience. And so now I'm going on almost 12 years running this home care agency, and we've averaged about 33,000 a week revenue. So, our highest revenue we've done some months has been 200,000 a month of revenue. And, the business has generated over $8 million of total revenue since I've had it. And I've been able to create a great lifestyle. And I just really want to be like authentic and share this video because I really see like nothing else out there right now that people are just really saying this business for what it is. It seems like it just there's surface level stuff out there. So, and plus like, that's why I started my home care agency blueprint program to help others create their own home care business. And it's super exciting because I've readjusted the packages where it's super affordable and you can basically start your own home care business and you're going to have access to all of the knowledge that I have, curated and developed over the past basically 12 years. And so today I just want to jump in and share. I mean, first of all, I want to share my story. And then second, I just want to share my screen here so you can see this is my home care agency, my current home care business now. We're based in Southern California. And if you've already seen our essentially our page for the home care agency blueprint, this is what it looks like. And here's a little bit of my story in here explains, how, essentially kind of like what I covered right now. And it goes in a little more detail on the program and it's pretty amazing. So we can essentially with my course, you can launch your home care agency. And this is, taking licensing out of the equation. Licensing is different for every single state. But we can launch that business in less than 6 weeks. So I have an entire format on what things from incorporation to branding to getting the insurances set up, your CRM, your operations, policies and procedures, hiring caregivers, doing the assessments, employee handbooks, policies and procedures, everything. So I have literally curated an entire program where as if I were to start from ground zero today, what would I do to start a home care business? And how quickly could I do it? And I mean, honestly, I could literally probably start something in 3-4 weeks. I mean, like I said, that's from, like getting your incorporation all the way to all the branding, everything is set up. And then of course, licensing, sometimes that takes a few months, to get that. So what I want to go over, towards like one of the last, this is like the third thing I want to cover today is just our program. So here's an insider look of what the home care agency blueprint program looks like. So this is essentially the course, and the way that it's designed is there's different packages. And if you're interested, I'm gonna have my personal calendar link below in the description, and you could book a call with me. I'll speak with you about what the packages are. We've got to do an analysis of where you are, what you're really looking into, why you want to get in this business. It's so important that your heart is in it, and just the overall vision. And the way I've designed the packages is it depends on how much time, and like we have from like a done for you package where me and my team will essentially build the home care business from as far as launch it, the entity, branding, incorporation, setting up all the insurances, everything. It's a done for you package. So that's like our flagship offering, and those spots are limited. We can only do so many of those a quarter. And then we also have other packages that are less cost, where if you have more time, you can, jump in there and we'll guide you through one-on-one. So all of my courses, everything in here, this entire program has coaching involved. So as you go through this program and you have a question on, okay, well, how do I do this? Or what do I do with the caregiver here? It's really outlined in here. And there's even so many in-depth models. And then also we coach you. So like any questions you have, we'll get back within 24 hours. And oftentimes we'll even send like a Loom video, like a screen recording back. We can even jump into like what you're looking at and do something super detailed, scheduled calls. There's all kinds of ways that will support you. I just really wanted to start this video though of the inspiration on, I really want to inspire people. I mean, whether it's going through me and my program, or you're going to maybe do a franchise, or, you know, go with another company. I think it's so important to just explain that even though this business can seem like a lot up front, if you have the right resources and knowledge, anybody can do it. I mean, me doing it at 21 years old, working from Starbucks, it's just like, I mean, I'm just saying, I want to inspire others, because I see so many people that they're like ready to jump in and do it, but they're like not sure. And so I'm very excited because we have been able to successfully already launch other home care agencies, and they're already having success. And so many of our clients in this program now, they're just like telling me like, thank you so much, Scott, for, you know, encouraging me and just, you know, pushing me to do this, because now that I'm jumping in and getting my hands on everything, I know I can do it. So essentially this program, just like a super quick overview, a lot of this is information. So, you know, like market analysis, market research, I cover that. How to develop a vision and mission statement. By the way, that is something that I'm throwing in our packages, is we will do your vision and mission statement and your description, and identify what your company name is, and do the incorporation. There's a promotion we have going on right now. So we will do that no charge. It's included in all of our packages. So you get like a leather binder with like your operating agreement and everything. Uh, you know, crafting your business blueprint, that's essentially a business plan. There's an entire template in here. And then software overview, we go over what softwares are great to use. My company uses WellSky. There's so many others out there, and I give other recommendations as well. The legal requirements, you know, registering your business, how to choose your name, the legal structure, insurances, branding. I mean, I even go into as detail, like this is just comes from my personal experience of just, because I'm into the, you know, personal development, all that biohacking stuff. So I always think about like starting with your intuition, like why do you really want to get into this business? Like what inspired you to do it, and what are you looking to get out of it? And if your core why is really to, you know, for the greater good, to help others and be able to impact the community, then, you know, you have good reasons for it, then you're going to be successful. And like, of course, the dedication and everything. And then like, you know, there's legal and regulatory compliance. I go into all the details about like the insurances, what they are. So the way that these are structured is like, you know, what is essentially professional and general liability insurance? Where can you go get it? What providers have it? And then like, as far as, this is like not even halfway through, hiring your office team, how to determine office staff hiring needs. Once, when you have 5, 6, 7, 10 clients, when do you start hiring an employee? So that's something that I go into. You know, like even creating like an e-learning training. So this is what's called like a playbook, you know, for your employees. A lot of big companies do that. It took me a while to learn that that was something to do. You know, so creating playbooks ahead of time with each employee that you hire will be very helpful, because in the future, when you hire that next admin, you're going to be able to give them that playbook. So, you know, I go into that. Job descriptions, we give not only office job descriptions, but caregiver job descriptions. There's about, I believe, like close to 10 templates in there. Employee handbook, remember this is it's a template. It's about 55 pages. Remember, you want to check with your local laws on whatever state you're in to make sure that that handbook is proper, but we give the template for that. Employee agreement, same thing on the legal thing there. And again, we help you with that. If you have questions on it, we will research stuff. We will help you as you go along here. And then, how to hire caregivers, how to match them, how to find great caregivers, how to essentially like what hiring platforms to use as you scale, what the hiring process looks like to hire caregivers, what the orientation training looks like. So how to orient them with the families, how to make sure that they're trained. Um, and so there's a caregiver employee agreement as well that's specific. That's for hiring. Caregiver risk mitigation. This is a big one. Not many people seem to be talking about this. There's often, like, I don't want to say often, but it's like as you get bigger and you have 50, 60, 70 caregivers, there's going to be dynamics. I won't sugarcoat it. There'll be stuff that's going on that you've got to, speak to that caregiver and make sure that they're feeling heard out and that there's not issues. Because when you're sending these people to homes of other people, if you send a caregiver to someone's home that say they have severe dementia and the caregiver is saying that there's an issue, but then the client can't remember, that's just something that, so I go in detail on all of this stuff on how to handle those situations and mitigate the risk so you're protected. Onboarding new clients, how to do a lead intake. We even have email and text templates as well. So we give email and text templates for lead intake, what the welcome call is. There's even a mock recording that we've included, my team has done. So you could hear like what the recording is, what it sounds like to have that phone call. How to do a care plan development, like how to build out that care plan. Caregiver matching, how to match the proper caregiver. There's a whole section on that, how to introduce them to the families, ongoing communication, how to monitor that caregiver when they're in the home and there's months and months and months going by and you're making sure that everyone's communicating, that caregiver's updating you on the status of the patient, and vice versa. You're getting updates from the family, making sure that that communication's there. Quality assurance. This is also the effective phone and lead intake. So that's, like mastering phone conversations, like how to have a great phone conversation on the phone. Like, so that's something that is just, it's important. If nothing else, it's great for your team to be able to, and you guys are more than welcome to utilize this stuff for training materials and, for example, like how to have a proper phone conversation. You could print that out and give it to your employee and make sure they're following that. So as you grow, operations, that's going into, like, we use monday.com for our operations. WellSky is the biggest platform that we use, which is essentially the scheduling and payroll and invoicing platform. So the clients, caregivers, invoices, payroll is calculated in there. And then monday.com is more for like automation. So that's like keeping the team communicating. It's not necessary up front when you're first starting. It's just a way that as I've grown my business, we've had that. How to determine your pricing strategy. So like what to charge, what the breakdown is for, say, essentially caregiver payroll. And I do a lot of these like Loom videos of me talking about each lesson. So that's kind of like how you can see that in here. And so this has like an entire breakdown of like, if you're charging 40 an hour, you've got to be paying say you're paying the caregiver 20, that's 50% profit. You want to allocate at least 20% for payroll taxes and say workers' comp. Now this is just rule of thumb. Everything is a little different, but I'm just giving kind of like a rough idea of how profitable this business can be. Now, when I say seeing the profits here, this just shows, and I'll do a whole like separate video on this, but this essentially shows like this is based off of, basically I have a multiple client profit breakdown. This is the one. So this basically says like, if you have 7 part-time clients at 20 hours a week, it comes out to around 22,400 revenue. And then if you have another 5 clients 40 hours a week, that's 32,000. And then like 24-hour care, that's 96 for 3 clients. So that's 151,000, off just basically a small amount of clients. That's 15 clients that this is off of. And yeah, this is just rough calculation. And like I said, I wanted to start this video on my personal story and getting into this business because it's so important to have your heart in this. It is everybody wants to get in a business. We're like, people don't start businesses to not make any money, right? You're either replacing a job, you're going into something that like everyone's got to make an income somehow. So I think it's important to share that this business, it's not just rewarding, but it's also profitable. And it's a great business to be in. And that's why I came up with this blueprint and I'm so excited because I was able to adjust the pricing packages now where, we were only doing the done for you for quite a long time. And now we've just adjusted to now we have this community now. There's one-on-one coaching. Everything is hosted in Kajabi. Weekly live calls. So, and I'll be on those as well. Me and my team will be there. So payment processing, recommendations, billing the insurance company. So this goes over just a whole thing about scheduling and billing, finance and accounting, how to set up your business baking, creating a budget for your financial projections, how to bill out long-term care insurance. Now keep in mind, most of this is covered based off of private pay. So I get that question a lot. Do you bill out insurance companies? There are, and we can show you how to do that. There are companies that you can use that can get your agency credentialized. So that means that you essentially get when you get your licensed home care business, you can get credentialized. And that just means you essentially have a contract with the insurance company to be able to bill them. And then there's certain codes and certain ways to bill them out. And so when you have a patient and a client that needs, say they have Blue Cross or Blue Shield, and that's the insurance that covers it, and your contract with them, then you can accept that insurance. Now, if you're a private pay company, you can still accept long-term care, and you do not have to be credentialized to long-term care. You do got to send in that W-9 form, and there's some other, like the license, they need copies of your insurances and basic stuff, but yeah, you can be credentialized. So I'm sorry, you can set up a way of you do not have to be credentialized with long-term care, but you can get credentialized otherwise with other insurance companies. But like, for example, my business is 80% is private pay, and then the rest is long-term care. And I actually have a whole section on how to bill long-term care. Does the family pay for it? Do you bill them out, and does long-term care reimburse you? How do you negotiate with the family? Often what we do is we get the contract with long-term care, meaning we just set up our agency with them if we're not already set up with them, and then they will bill the family. The family actually will pay. So basically, we'll pay. The family pays us, and then we send in the care logs and the paid invoice to the long-term care, and then long-term care reimburses the family. So that's the best way to do it, because then that with your accounts receivable, you're collecting and I go over this in here, but basically every Monday is how we bill for the previous weeks of services. Marketing and sales, I know it's a huge one. How do I get clients? Where do I go get clients? I'm proud to say that we are partnered with a company that it specializes in that's all they do is B2B marketing, and you can be included in also a 1-year mastermind with them that is optional. You can join that, and it basically helps you really know how to talk to the referrals, ask for referral sources, and all that. And I go into detail here with it. Tools and technology, like this is kind of just like extra, like what equipment and supplies do you need for your office, how to even set goals. So there's some like personal development. I added some of these things in here because these come from personal experience for me. I mean, someone that it's challenging to have someone run a successful business if they don't know how to set goals. So I like to, have that in here. And yeah, the rest is just like financial planning, um, future growth opportunities, monitoring evaluation for the clients. So that's essentially, this is really the entire program here. And yeah, it's my program called Homecare Agency Blueprint, and it has been super successful so far. People are really happy with it, and it's one of those things that, like I said, if you are feeling like this is something that you want to do and you're inspired, and maybe check in with yourself. Everyone has different things going on in their life, so if this feels like a good time to start your home care business, it's definitely jump into it. I mean, there's they call it like the silver tsunamis coming, and people are getting age 65 and older. Thousands and thousands of people per day are turning 65 and older, and like majority of our clients are about 82 to like 90, 95, and that just means that they're getting older too. So there's room for this for everybody. And like, I know that the franchises also have like a pretty large like piece of market. That's what you hear about, but there's also a lot of just home care businesses that are doing really well. I've been able to have a great like lifestyle for myself. I'm so grateful for having my home care agency, and this has been, I'm inspired by you guys. I see that all your agencies popping up based off of our home care agency Blueprint, and it's really fun to see that. So I'm excited to be continually working with more of the clients. And so for you guys, if you're interested, book a call with me directly. My Calendly link is below in the description, and that is a call booked with me. So I get booked up pretty quick, so you might see limited spots. You can always message me, direct message me on even Instagram. Home Care Blueprint is our Instagram, and or even if you want to comment below, just if there's another time that you want to set up. So yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Thanks so much.